Hey, everybody. So, hi. Welcome to Babylon Bullshit, Hopeless and Bitter.
Yeah.
I'm Will.
I'm Lilith.
We are not experts in dating at all,
Oh, God, no.
in any way, and yet we are going to offer you our unsolicited advice.
I would say that it's pretty safe to say that we are not experts in anything, and I have 2 degrees in psychology, and I still am not an expert.
I am very much an expert in ordering things on Uber Eats. So,
Well, there you go. All right.
I'm sure I'm good at other things. Thank you.
Okay.
Great. Yay, self-esteem. I didn't need that. So we've covered our general approaches or philosophies on dating, which is we've covered toxic traits,
Yeah.
which that episode I do hope was helpful to somebody because that stuff is actually important. Now let's talk about the beginning of dating. You have to meet somebody.
Ugh.
I know, people are the worst.
I don't want to meet people. I've met enough people. I don't want to meet any more.
Yeah, honestly, I've filled my quota. But if you were one of those people who is trying to date someone, you do have to meet them. And how do you do that without making yourself look like a moron or, scaring off a potential partner because you said something creepy? Looking at basically every college dude right now. Because let's be fair, guys in their late teens to early 20s, we were all very stupid at that age. You good?
Nope. I'm dying.
So Lil's getting over a cold, so you're gonna hear a lot of hacking.
I have that lung butter
Yeah.
sitting in there right now.
God.
So it's like I cough and it just starts rattling around.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say lung butter.
So do I, but it's still a gross itch.
Would you rather I say phlegm, which is so much more disgusting.
Honestly, it is. You're not wrong about that.
That's why lung butter just sounds better than phlegm. Because you look at the word and it's spelled phlegm.
Yeah.
So you see the word, even if you don't know English, you see that word, you're like, oh, I know what that is.
That's gross. Yeah. I may not be able to define that, but I know it's bad. Speaking of lung butter.
I'm fine. I have asthma, guys. I'm sorry.
Honestly,
I'm gonna use my inhaler.
This is Ohio in the fall. It's like the trees just basically shit pollen all over the place.
Right.
So it's lovely. But so I guess it might start this way. Lil and I actually met in a way people do meet when they're trying to date. We met on a dating app.
We met on a dating app. However, it was not an app because we didn't really have smartphones yet.
It was the website, yeah.
It was the actual website,
Yep.
Plenty of Fish.
That's right. Wait, was it Plenty of Fish or OkCupid?
I think it was Plenty of Fish.
Was it? It was one of those.
I don't know. I was on both
Yeah,
at one point.
so was I.
So I can't remember exactly which one now that you're making me question my reality. But yeah, that's how we met. And it's more common now.
Much more common,
when
yeah.
we met, it was not as common. This was 2009?
Something like that, yeah.
I
Yeah,
think.
2008, 2009, yeah.
Something like that.
But that's, so like you said, that was back when they were on websites.
Yeah. I had to go on my computer to look at messages.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as having a fucking smartphone and having an app.
Well, we had internet on our phones, but you had to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And honestly, I couldn't afford a good enough phone to do that. So
Right, yeah. I think I still had a flip phone at the time.
I had
Now that I think about it. I didn't. I didn't have a flip phone.
I had this.
But it wasn't
One of those slide open phones.
Oh, yeah.
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 Because then you could get to the tiny ass keyboard that
Yeah.
was too small for anyone's hands. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that shit. It was great.
But that's we did the dating app or dating website thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, we didn't date afterwards, but that's still how we met.
Yeah.
So I want to ask your opinion on this. Mm-hmm. How much? Because I'm sure you got a lot of messages on a lot of dating apps over the years. How much of those people would you say were 100% lying in their profiles?
At least 97%.
Yeah. This goes for women too.
Oh yeah. No,
straight
it's,
dude here.
It's,
So
it's everybody. It's all people lie on their profiles. I will say I didn't.
No, your profile was very much like I will hate you. Message me at your own risk.
Pretty much. I'm like, hey, if you could say more than just hi, that'd be super. And I would say that you didn't lie on your profile either.
No, because I barely filled it out. Like it was,
Yeah.
I was like, I signed up for the dating apps because a friend of mine basically was like, "Hey, this is a great way to meet someone." I'm like, "Oh, fine, fuck, I'll do it." And so I signed up. I like on the about you section, I think I typed 2 sentences, and it was basically, "I am person, I have job." Like it was like I did not give a shit.
Yeah. It was pretty basic. Yeah.
Yeah, but I still messaged people because
You
why
did.
the fuck
yeah.
not?
Yeah.
For a lot of, and I'll speak for straight dudes here, for a lot of people, well, for anyone, people who are more shy, approaching someone on a dating app can be a lot easier because you're not in person. You're they're not in front of you. You have a moment to think about responses before you say something back.
The rejection isn't as tough because if they don't respond, that just means they're not interested.
Yeah. And there's a disconnect. So if you're more shy, hell yes, dating apps are the way to go. Like that's great.
Yeah.
Problem now is dating apps consist of generally 3 kinds of people. There are porn spam.
Yeah.
So anyone who's interested in women, if you see a gorgeous woman whose profile photos are all professionally done on a beach somewhere, and the profile says that she's super into like Star Wars and never going out,
She's lying.
that's a bot. And
Or somebody catfishing.
yeah. And they will very quickly ask you for your credit card number. So like learn to spot those. They're not
Yeah.
hard to see.
Yeah.
So you have the porn spam. You have the cam models who are trying to get you signed up for their site. Mm-hmm. And I've seen variations of that where, on the one side of the spectrum, they go, you match with them and they go immediately, "Hey, just so you know, I'm an OnlyFans model and I want you to sign up for my site." Okay, appreciate the directness, unmatch.
Sure. Bye.
Or they talk to you for 3 or 4 days and go, "Hey, before we meet in person, would you mind signing up for my OnlyFans?" And again, unmatched because
And we said this last time too. There is nothing wrong with doing OnlyFans
Not
or
in the
doing
slightest.
or doing any kind of sex work.
not in the slightest.
Sex work is actual work, and I respect anyone who does it. I think it's wonderful. Fucking make that bread, baby.
Yeah,
like
fuck yeah.
I am all for it.
Fuck yeah.
With that being said, don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole and be like just using the dating sites to promote. That's what social media is for. That's what your Instagram is for. That's what your Twitter is for.
Now, there's a difference.
Fucking stop.
If your dating app profile straight up says, "Hey, I am an OnlyFans model and I'm on here to network with new people,"
different.
That's different because you're being honest.
Yeah, if you're upfront and saying I'm trying to network, cool.
Yeah.
Fucking get that bread.
Hell yeah.
Go for it.
Problem is, and as a single dude, I got rid of Tinder because
It's trash.
it's garbage. Actually, side note, last episode I mentioned a friend of mine who is gay and
Uses Grindr.
and was
Yeah.
shocked by the avalanche of dick pics that he got on Grindr. And I was wondering if that's actually common for everyone on Grindr. So I made a Grindr profile. It has nothing in it. It is blank. It doesn't have it doesn't have a username, age, details. It is literally blank. I had Grindr for 45 minutes.
No.
425 dick pics. literally
Wow.
literally nothing in the profile.
Gay dudes are just like,
no information whatsoever.
you know,
Flood of dick pics.
here's the thing. Here's the thing with Grindr. We know that Grindr is just for hookups. It's
Yeah.
not for dating.
Yeah.
Don't use it for dating. Use it for hookups. And
Well,
if that's not what you want, go on to like an actual site.
That's what my friend who is gay and was using Grindr for dating eventually came to the realization of, was that, like, no, I'm trying to get something out of this app that it was never intended for. That's my bad.
Yeah, it's intended for hookups.
Yeah. And honestly, a lot of women on Tinder will say the same thing, is that the dudes that message them on Tinder will immediately be, "Yo, what's up?" and then dick pic. And that is not...
I complained about this on our first episode of Hopeless and Bitter, was stop sending unsolicited dick pics. Only send it if I am asking for it. This is not me asking.
Yeah, guys, this is not Lil asking for dick pics.
Do not send me a dick pic on our Instagram. I will block you immediately because that's fucking disgusting.
Not only will we
penises are gross.
Not only will we block you, like I'm a sort of petty. I will find your friends and family on Instagram and share the message history with them. Yeah, I am that petty. So
I'm here for it.
But on a dating app, when you meet someone, conversation is the first thing. You know, when I first messaged you, I talked to you like a person.
You did.
Like,
you didn't even compliment me.
No.
Like your first message was like, "Hi, how's it going? You seem really interesting."
Which is a greeting. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I noticed that you're not far from me. Would you like to meet up for coffee or drinks or whatever? And I was like, holy shit. Somebody who is not messaging me and saying immediately, "Damn, you're really hot."
Because what's the point?
Fucking stop.
Because guys,
stop it.
Like, this applies to most people. If you message someone who's objectively very attractive on a dating app and go, "Hey, you're super hot," one, they don't want to hear that. They already know.
I'm aware.
Like,
I have the privilege of seeing myself every day. I am aware that I am a 10. I fucking know. You don't need to tell me.
Yeah, they know. Don't repeat it. That's information they already have. Come at them like a human being.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? Hey, I noticed in your profile that says you're into, insert hobby here. That sounds super interesting. Can we, tell me more about that?
Yeah.
Ask them about themselves. That's how you start a conversation. I know this is audio medium only, but I'm like I'm cute on my best day. And I'm aware of that. And I'm fine with it. Lil's honest to God, a 10 hands down.
Oh, thanks. I know.
You already know.
No, I'm aware.
Me. Yeah.
But no, I still like validation. Because I'm a human being.
Yeah.
And I still like compliments.
But I still managed to get them to meet me in person because I talk to them like a person.
Yes.
It's not that hard. Like, it's really not.
Granted, no one else in the bar thought I was a person.
Yeah, so this is actually a fun story.
I think we talked about it last episode.
We did, still. but it's worth repeating. We went to a coffee shop near my old apartment, and helpful tip, I find, so always meet in public first.
Oh,
that's
I will not meet at someone's home.
Yeah, meet in public first, because honestly, then you just get a vibe for someone. It's a safer space.
Exactly.
But
and I can leave if I want to.
Exactly, and that goes for both people.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I've gone on first dates with women that I'm like, hey, before we actually order dinner, like, I'm not feeling this, and like, I don't want to waste your time. Like,
yeah.
And
I will never meet at someone's home, and I will never let somebody pick me up.
Yep.
If I am meeting them for the first time.
That's a safety thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to this little coffee house. I know that the bartender is a good friend of mine. Is a wonderful human being. It's a comfortable spot. Yeah. I would go there a lot when I was in college to do homework. There's a lot of friends who hung out there. And at one point, Lil went inside to go to the bathroom, and one of my friends, very concerned, came up to me and said, "Hey, I know you've been single for a while, man, but like, did you hire a prostitute? Like, did you?" And they weren't kidding. They straight up thought that you were that I'd hired you.
I was an escort. Now, here's the thing. First of all, that's not an insult. Again, I just said sex work is work.
Absolutely.
And I think it's great. With that being said, it's not like I was wearing anything like super revealing.
Jeans and like a flannel, I think. Like, yeah. Like
it was summer, so I think I may have been wearing a dress.
Maybe.
But even still, it's not like I was wearing it. The dress was not form-fitting. It was like an actual, spring dress.
Yeah.
And
you weren't wearing anything revealing or anything suggestive. Like, it was
no.
And my friends were genuinely concerned that I'd just given up and hired an escort.
I didn't look like an escort, so I have no idea what they were talking about.
And this may just be, the male lizard brain, but I take it as a compliment. They all thought you were hot enough that like I would have had to hire you.
They thought I was hot enough that I could like make money going on dates with people. So that is definitely a compliment.
That's flattering. Yeah.
I think it's very flattering. I am not an escort, but now I'm rethinking my life. Maybe I should be.
and
escorts don't have to have sex.
No.
For the record.
I actually do know someone who is as a side gig, she calls herself the the top tier of wedding escorts. She literally hires herself out as wedding dates.
Dude.
And
I need to do that.
She will go above and beyond. She'll look up the bride and groom's like, social media, learn their names, learn their hobbies. Like she'll actually really make an effort.
I'm in the wrong line of business. I think I need to become an escort.
And so she'll be able to talk to the bride and groom.
Yeah.
Because she has learned all about them. She makes it very clear to the guys who hire her, I am your date for the wedding. Like, we're not going home together. We're not having sex. I'm your date for the wedding. That's it.
I think I'm going to do that.
And honestly, like
I'm going to start that.
She goes to like 1 or 2 weddings a month, and that's a great idea.
Yeah,
like,
I'm going to start that. I'm going to start doing it $250 a pop.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair price.
She goes $325, but okay.
Look, I'm starting. I'm just starting.
Yeah. Well, also, she is. If you had to design a woman who would be considered attractive by the largest number of people,
yeah,
that's her.
Gotcha.
Very much that like girl next door, easy smile. Like she just looks friendly.
Oh well, then maybe I shouldn't.
I
have a permanent scowl.
You can look friendly, but I know it takes a lot of effort.
It hurts my face. It hurts my face to look friendly anymore. Like I trained myself because for a long time, like I was the person that people could come up and talk to because I had a friendly face. And then I was like, oh, I hate this. Yeah. So I trained myself to have a permanent scowl. And now I just constantly have RBF. And to the point that like people at my second job at the aerial studio don't talk to me at first. Or, one, they think I'm too cool, which is hysterical.
Or they think you're angry.
Or they think I'm just pissed and I don't like anyone.
Which is like 50% true. Like
right. But there are apparently a few students who are like, I honestly had no idea if you liked me. Because like I'm like, oh no, honey, that's my face.
Yeah, that's just
my face. I promise I like you.
And honestly,
it's just what I look like all the time.
This is actually something and this is something that I encountered when I was younger. A lot of women who have what others would call resting bitch face are not bitchy, angry people.
No.
At all.
I mean, I am, but
yeah, but that's just how their face is. Like, you should not be afraid to approach someone in public.
No, you should be afraid to approach me. Don't approach me.
Lil's different. Lil's a unique case.
Yeah, don't talk to me.
Social media only. Instagram. You can talk to Lil on Instagram, but expect the reply to sound like it went through a couple revisions.
Yeah, because I'm probably overthinking how I'm responding.
Also, I think you'll get a reply from Lil. I'd see the message and go, I'll reply to that later, and then just forget. So I texted a buddy of mine back yesterday. He texted me 3 weeks ago about getting dinner.
Bud.
I remember looking at the message and going, yeah, I'll text him back when I get home. I was
mentally reply.
I was working a show. I was like, well, I can't text him right now. I'm doing stuff. I'll text him when I get home. So it cleared the notification because I opened the message. Just forgot about it. Like, yeah. Which actually segues well into another good dating tip. For the love of God, communicate. When you're talking to someone at first, whether it's in person, on a dating app, talk.
Yes.
If you just sit there and constantly ask them about themselves, eventually you're going to run out of information to learn. Or you're going to start bumping into stuff that they don't want to share with someone that they've just met.
Correct.
don't ask about like their like medical history on a first date. You want to ask about their hobbies. You know, hey, where'd you go to school? Where'd you grow up? Do you have any siblings? Things like that.
I'm just imagining somebody asking,
how's your vaginal health? Like,
okay,
yeah, like
so real quick, what? Have you ever been pregnant?
I love that
have
you
had
mimed
any?
that with your iPad on a fully audio
Yeah.
medium.
This is who I am as a person. You know that. But like, I'm just like imagining somebody just asking, you know, these random questions. Tell me about your surgical history.
At what age did you first get your period?
Oh God!
Like,
Don't ask
yeah,
that question.
Just
Please
talk.
don't ask
Like,
that question.
And this is since I work, you know, I work concerts for a living, so I'm, you know, constantly in bars and things like that.
Yeah.
I have the privilege of watching people attempt to meet other people, and sometimes it's adorable. One dude, and this actually was a great move. He walked up to a group of like seven college age women, which most guys will avoid that because that is like walking into a bear trap. So we are not no.
Yeah.
We will not do that.
Yeah.
This dude and like you could see the like little bead of sweat going down his face. Like you could tell he's like, okay, I fucking got this. Okay, I got this. I fucking got this. Okay, let's do this. Like he was like psyching himself up. And to his credit, he had the one picked out that he wanted to talk to. He offered to buy her a drink, not the group, not anyone else, her. And she said, well, I haven't finished mine. And he went, all right, cool. Offer stands. Come find me when you do. And he went back to his friends.
Bold.
Bold for saying it.
Yeah.
But also, he left them alone. He made the offer. And he said, I'm going to be 10 feet over there where you'll clearly be able to see where I am.
Yeah.
If you would like to take me up on this offer, I would encourage you to please come say so.
Yeah.
So he left it up to her.
That's so great.
Brilliant.
That is the best way to handle that.
By the time the show ended and I was packing up, they were still sitting at the bar talking. Like,
oh, meet cute.
it was brilliant. It was
I love
brilliant.
that.
And his approach was confident. He didn't, use a pickup line. He didn't say something stupid. He just he just offered her a drink
Yeah.
and then walked away. And that's
great.
That's the way you should do it. Like,
I approve of that, and I definitely would have been one to go like, you know what? I'll take a free drink because that is courteous and it's polite.
yep.
I have not had those opportunities because generally what ends up happening is somebody will offer me a drink. I say, no thanks, I'm good. And then they don't leave me the fuck alone. And then I'm like, what part of no are you not grasping? When someone tells you no, and this goes for any gender, if someone tells you no,
That's the end of it.
the fuck away.
Yeah. And honestly, you can salvage a graceful exit out of that. Personal experience. This was a couple years. This was actually a year before COVID. I'm working a show. We're in between bands, and I was doing lighting for this one, so they don't really need me. So I went to the bar to get a drink, and there was a woman sitting at the bar, very attractive, clearly waiting on her friends. This is a concert venue. She's there by herself. So I went up. I introduced myself. We talked for a few minutes. I asked if she'd like a drink. She said, "Oh no, I'm actually waiting on some friends. We're hanging out tonight." I went, "Cool. Enjoy the show." Thanked her for her time and walked away. She said no. That was the end of it. A lot of people need to learn that rejection is 9 times out of 10, it's not personal.
Correct.
Most of the time, if you've just met somebody and you make a pass to them and they reject you, it's not about you. They don't know enough about you to reject you on a personal level. It's not about you.
Do not, when I say no to you, don't tell me I hope you get raped. Oh, yeah.
I know this is like a...
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Someone said that to me once because he asked if he could buy me a drink. I said no. I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm the designated driver tonight, so I can't really be like drinking. So I said no, but thank you for the offer. I appreciate it. And he was like, oh, come on, you can have one, blah, blah, blah. I said, this is the one that I am consuming right now. That is the one drink.
That's the dude whose roofie's about to expire.
And right. And I was like, seriously, I appreciate it, but I'm good. This is going to be the only drink that I have tonight because I have to drive. I am driving my friends. That was the deal. So this is my one drink for the evening, and then I'm done. And he would not leave it alone. And I finally followed my rule of fuck politeness and said, look, bro, I'm not interested. I don't want to be talking to you right now. I'm out with my friends. Please go. And he said, whatever, you dumb bitch. I hope you get raped tonight. I'm like, okay. That escalated really fast.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is why I don't like talking to men and why I'm very uncomfortable around them. Like 95% of the time.
Listen,
I'm very uncomfortable around men.
I need this message to be heard by basically every man on the planet. On behalf of all of us who would not look at a woman and tell anyone that we hope they get raped, y'all need to fucking stop it. You're making the rest of us look bad. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how much time I spend apologizing for dick bags like that?
That night, I told my friends what happened and they were like, nope. And we left that bar.
Yeah. That's the correct move.
Yeah, we left that bar and we picked another one that was like farther away. Because I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm very uncomfortable now because this dude is staring me down.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he did not leave when we did. He didn't follow us. But it was very scary because I kept looking back. Even though, like, I had my friends around me,
Still.
like, I kept looking back to make sure he wasn't following
Yeah.
because I was terrified. Granted, I know my friends would have whooped his ass. They would have been like, nope, sucker, and would have fucking jumped him. But it was still really scary because that's not something that you want to hear as, you know, a femme presenting individual. Like,
And it's also just ridiculous for anyone to say. Like,
it's gross to say.
It's
gross.
rejection is if you've been in a relationship for 20 years and then the person rejects you, okay, I can
That's
understand.
personal,
I can
yes.
understand having an emotional reaction to that. That you know maybe you'll say something you didn't mean because your emotions got the better of you.
Right.
Okay, you know what? In that case, fine. To a random person in a bar that you've,
Yep.
and I'm saying known with finger quotes for all of 45 seconds, just move the fuck on and
Yeah.
don't be a shitty person.
Yeah.
Like,
See, here's the thing. Like, so I have rejection sensitivity.
yeah.
I have ADHD. I have autism. So rejection sensitivity is very prominent in my brain.
Yeah.
I wasn't always pretty.
Why do you think we're doing the podcast together? I couldn't say no to you.
I wasn't always pretty. Like I really didn't start becoming attractive until I was in my 20s.
Yeah, you were super surprised by it when I first met you. Like,
Yeah,
you were still like, I don't know why everyone's looking at me. I'm like, because you're hot. You're like, oh yeah, fuck. You're kind of annoyed about it.
Well, and like the thing is, like it still has taken me a very long time to become confident in my appearance. Like I still go through phases of like, God, I'm fucking gross. I'm hideous, whatever.
Everyone does that.
Yeah. But I know I'm attractive. I know I'm a very pretty person. I know that. But it took a very long time for me to get to this point to realize like, oh no, I've been hot like this whole time, haven't I? But I wasn't always pretty. Like teenagers now don't get the benefit that we did of being awkward.
Yeah.
I was incredibly awkward and not all that pretty. I was really odd.
Being an awkward teenager, like looking awkward as a teenager, forces you to become a decent person. Otherwise, you will not have friends.
I had to get a personality.
Yeah.
Because like I wasn't pretty.
And there are a lot of people, and I know this is part of my job. I know a lot of people whose personality is devoted entirely to what they look like, and they're often average to mediocre ability to play an instrument.
Right.
Like and there has to be like, as I said earlier, I'm on my best day, I'm cute. But I know that.
Yeah.
I make a point to be nice to people. I make a point to be funny. I make
personality is a big part of it. But like, even with all of that, like like I said, I wasn't always pretty, wasn't always an attractive person, but I've always had a good personality. I've always been funny. And that's usually what, attracted people to me.
Being funny opens more doors than anyone realizes.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not the person, and even to this day, like, I'm not the person that somebody sees from across the bar and is like, I have to talk to them. Like, I'm not. I know that. I'm not the person that people write songs about. Like,
I'm the person people see at a bar and go, hey, does he work here? I need to ask about where the bathroom is. Like, yeah.
Like, it takes me a while to get people to be interested in me. And that's okay. That's fine. I've accepted that. With that being said,
it's been 15 years and I'm barely interested in you. So that's
fair. This is not right. I'm the one that's supposed to bully you.
I know, but like,
I'm like not.
I'm on a roll today, so
I don't like it.
Usually I don't get these in. This is great. Is this what it feels like for you all the time?
Yeah.
This is phenomenal.
Isn't it nice? Yeah, it's nice.
This is so great.
But because of all of those things, I've been rejected a lot in my life. More often than not, people I'm interested in are not interested in me. Still, now.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I don't get offended, but because of the trauma that I've had of being rejected, I now have trouble telling people when I'm interested.
Yeah.
I don't tell them. So I just go on with my whole life of being like, you're never gonna know.
There's
like,
it's
how I've dated ever is a miracle, because like, I don't tell people. They have to tell me that they're interested, and then I go, oh, but wait, me too. Like,
it's understandable to be disappointed when someone rejects you. I get that. That's normal.
That's
fine.
Yeah, you're allowed to be disappointed, but like, don't be a fucking asshole.
Also, and guys, I have to say this. If you meet a woman in a bar, if she rejects you, just move on.
Yeah.
You're at a bar. That's not, like, it's not the match game. How old am I? The match game? Really? Good God.
I don't think that's been on since
I was
1978.
I'm not that old. I was at my parents' house the other night, and they were like watching old Turner Classic Movies, and I think that like they have the old ads in them too. I think that came up. Yeah, my brain is weird.
Wow.
But if you're at a bar, you're generally, this is not going to be, you're going to get rejected more often than not. That's simply how it is. Some people will have your reaction of, like, being terrified of an asshole and leaving, which totally understandable. But even if you don't, wish violence on a person, you can still be a dick. Like, so this actually is one of my favorite bar stories of all time. There's a bar near my apartment, and after shows, it's open. Usually after shows, I'll stop in for a beer just to, wind down before I go home. And I go in there one night, and there's a woman sitting at the end of the bar, and this is like a Thursday night. She has earbuds in, and she's reading an article on her phone. That is the very much shields up, do not talk to me thing.
Yep.
And she's not glaring at anyone. She's not like thrusting a knife around the bar to keep people away from her. And so I walk in, I see her. I went, oh, she's pretty. Nope. She does not want anyone to talk to her. And I went and sat down at the bar. This dude walks up to her that I can only describe as basically if you had to design a frat boy.
And his name is Chadley.
Yeah. And he walks up to her, and he made an attempt. She said no, and if he'd walked away right then, I'd have been like, you know what, dude? All right, you tried. She very, very politely said no. He offered to buy her a drink. She said, no, thank you. I'm going to finish this one and go home, but I really appreciate it. She was very nice about it. He kept pushing. And she was still nice about it. Hey, no, I really appreciate it. I just came out for this one drink. Really just not in the mood to socialize. I really do appreciate it, though. Thank you. And he just kept pushing. Now, this is a Thursday night at a bar near a college, so it's a bar near a college. It's always pretty crowded.
Yeah.
Finally, she's had enough. she doesn't slap him. She doesn't do anything like that. She raises her voice just loud enough for the whole bar to hear and goes, "I don't care how many times you say it wasn't you. You gave my roommate herpes."
Oh.
This asshole had every she gave him at least 5 chances to walk away.
Yeah.
And every time he went, "No, I'm going to rhinoceros my way right into this shit." She was being polite. He was being a dick. And honestly, he deserved every bit of that. Because his reaction was, and then he just left. Like, he didn't go back to his friends. He left the bar.
Oh, shit.
And he deserved every ounce of that.
Oh, 100%.
Rejection is not that bad.
No.
Especially if it's someone you don't know.
Yeah, when it's someone you don't know, it's totally fine. It's a little hurtful. You're kind of like, oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
That sucks.
But then you blink and move on.
Yeah, but I cannot stress this enough. And this is for women, femme presenting specifically, because men don't have to deal with this. And you can speak on that for a fact. Men don't have to deal with harassment the way that women and femme presenting people do.
No. No.
When someone approaches you and they are being too aggressive about how they are approaching you, fuck politeness.
Yeah.
Do not be polite. Just fucking go, bro, what part of fucking no are you not grasping? You are not required to be polite to anybody.
No.
Anybody.
And honestly, if you start with polite as your default and then, as I'm sure you do, adjust based on their level of aggression and not taking a hint, that's totally reasonable. Like, if the dude you mentioned earlier had offered you a drink and you said, "No, thanks, I'm driving tonight," and he'd gone, "Cool, have a good night," and walked away, you wouldn't have gotten rude with him.
No, I wouldn't have needed to.
Yeah, is absolutely no need.
Yeah.
But when he kept being pushy, kept being aggressive,
yes,
that's when you kind of have to get more aggressive yourself.
Yeah. I don't necessarily like being rude to people. However,
you are quite good at it.
I'm really good at it because I don't like people. But
except our listeners, we love all of you.
Well, yeah, no, y'all are great. But
I don't know why I'm smiling at the camera that I have turned off right now. But
I was gonna say, I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm posing for the audience.
But I'm very much a person that, like, if you immediately come at me with some type of aggression, I'm not going to be polite.
Nope.
I have no reason to be polite, because if your first reaction to me is, "Damn, you're really fine. Can I take you home?" I'd be like,
No.
What
the fuck?
I don't want to go back to your mom's basement. Like, fucking go away. Leave me alone.
I think the only masculine presenting men who have to deal with that are like the most attractive celebrities.
Sure. Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
How, and this bugs me to no end. I have literally watched grown adult human beings, like grown women, grab celebrities by the shirt and rip off pieces of fabric.
That's disgusting. Don't do that.
We all get super, as a society, we get super up in arms when men treat female celebrities badly. They stalk them or say crude things about them. But then we turn around and you've got 55 women all in their mid-30s halfway through a bottle of wine going, "Oh my God, you would not believe that the things I would do to him." It's the same thing. It is the same behavior. It's just coming from women and aimed at men. And somehow we blink that off. It is the same shitty behavior.
It's one thing to say it amongst your friends.
But it's
and you're having a good night. You're just having a good time.
Wander onto any male celebrity you think is attractive's Twitter account at some point and see how many posts are.
No, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen publicly. I'm saying it's one thing when you're doing that, and this goes for all genders. Like,
sure, if you're among your friends, like, because I say that shit about hell yes,
about all kinds of celebrities, where I'm like,
but you're among like-minded people,
right? It's like, damn, given the chance,
Yeah, but
and normally it's not even I would do this, this, and this to him. It's usually I would let them do whatever the fuck they want to me.
and see, there's the difference. This is just.
But I don't say it to them.
Yeah.
I would never say that to them. The only time that I can be slightly inappropriate with people is when I'm just like, you're very attractive. I like your face.
I know how nervous you are, around people that, well, are famous and or you find attractive. So the fact that you are able to get those words out is actually amazing on its own.
So when it's a celebrity, I have nothing to lose.
Hey, tell us a story about the time you met Chris Hemsworth. Or
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, yeah.
Chris Evans. I said nothing to Chris Evans. I'll post the picture. I'll post the picture on our Instagram when this episode goes out. But I got a photo op with him, and the man is beautiful.
Oh yeah, he's objectively a very handsome man.
He is so stunning in person. And I walked up and I was just like, and they were saying, no hugs, no touching his face, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, no basic.
Is surprising well, it's not surprising they have to say it because
it's not surprising.
There are women in line like, I'm going to lick him.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So my usual line with photo ops is hold me and look at me like you love me. Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yes,
he commits.
That picture is intense.
The
wow.
fact that he grabs me, puts his hand around my throat, and literally people in line were like,
oh yeah, that picture's intense. And the best part is the look on your face.
I was just like, this is fine.
The look on your face is, I could die right now.
Yeah, and I would be fine. And the thing that killed me was like he did that, the picture got taken, and then he got closer and like touched his nose to mine, and I was like, are we gonna make out? Like, what's happening? I didn't know what to do. Like, I had no idea what was happening because he just kept looking at me, just deep into my eyes. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, you were.
This is fine. What? Like, I shut down. I had no idea what to do. And this was right after he said to me, like, I was wearing this really cute little Cthulhu dress. It had a Cthulhu pattern on it. And he was like, look at you. You look beautiful. And I was just like, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is like beautiful. I didn't know what to do with myself.
The best part about the picture is that the look on your face is, one, pure joy, and somehow at the same time is complete and utter bafflement.
I didn't know what to do because he just grabbed me, and I was like, oh.
You look the happiest I've ever seen you, but you also look beyond confused.
I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, oh God. And the year before that, like I said the same thing to him, and he just like pulled me in, and like we were nose to nose, and I was like,
I've heard.
Oh my Jesus Christ!
I have heard from. I have friends who work in TV and movies, and I've heard from several of them that he's just the nicest person. Like he's just the
loveliest man.
Just not just polite people.
No. He's
just genuinely a nice person.
Yeah, he's genuinely kind, and he really takes time with people. Like he's lovely. He is one of the loveliest people I've met.
And honestly, this is all this hour-long episode is, about meeting people when you're dating is going to boil down to this: just be nice to people. Nice. Like we can give anecdote after anecdote, right. But like what it comes down to more than anything else is just approach someone, like be nice.
Be nice.
Because that's all it takes.
So when I met Chris Evans and we were told like, hey, no face-to-face, nothing like that. I was like, okay, well that takes away my plan. I guess I'll just ask if I can put my arm around him.
Yeah.
And, he's like, hey, how's it going? Shook my hand. And I was like, can I put my arm around you? Is that okay? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And then he puts his arm around me, and like, it's a really...
He's a very large man.
He is 6'3".
Yeah.
6'2", 6'3".
You are all of 5'2", 5'3"?
I'm 5'3".
Yeah.
And he is a full foot taller than I am.
And in the picture, you're like, I think you're like in his armpit. Like
Yeah. And he was very polite. He was very nice. I was very polite to him because, like, yes, I have nothing to lose, but he also was in,
he's
in
working.
a relationship now,
But he's also
he's married now.
But he's also working when you
But
met
he
him.
was,
Like,
yeah, exactly. So I wasn't going to be rude or inappropriate. Like the hold me and look at me like you love me thing is just to get a fun photo.
Yeah.
It's not because like I'm trying to get somebody to be like inappropriate with me. I literally am just like, no, this is what's going to make me happy is if like in
It's
the
a fun photo.
you are looking at me.
Yeah. And I know you. If you had gone up to Jeffrey Dean Morgan and asked him to pose for you, like pose like that in photo, and he'd said no, you would have been disappointed, but you would have understood.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have pushed it.
No, I would have been like, well, can we hug in the
'Cause,
photo?
yeah.
And
yes.
yeah.
And you would have been fine with this is we talked about this last episode. Consent is not just sexual.
Yeah.
Consent is in everything.
Everything.
Like it is. And this is
Hence why I asked Chris Evans if I could put my
Yeah.
arm around him. It wasn't a like I'm just gonna do it. It was, can I put my arm around you? And he's like, yeah, of course.
yeah.
You know, and it was fine. I've done that with a lot of my pictures with celebrities. It's, you know, is it okay if I do this? I have a photo from fucking 13 years ago, something like that, with it was 11 years ago, when I met Norman Reedus for the first time.
Yeah.
And I asked him, is it okay if I give you a kiss on the cheek? Like, it's okay if you say no. And he was like, yeah, no, go for it. So I have a picture of me kissing Norman Reedus' face.
I've seen it, yeah.
Which most people who are Daryl fans, I am not a Daryl fan.
Oh,
For the record,
you
I'm
are
a
a Norman Reedus fan. Yes.
Yes, I'm a Norman Reedus fan,
Which
not Daryl.
Not being a Norman Reedus fan is ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly, because he's phenomenal. But like, so many people are just like, how the fuck did you get that? And I'm like, I asked him.
Like a normal human being. Yeah.
I asked if it was okay, and he said yes. If he had said no, I wouldn't have done it.
So this is a story that was relayed to me by a friend of mine who she lives in Las Vegas, and the company she works for, basically they're an event organizing company. So
Sure.
they organize cons and all that, big events around the city. She said when she first started with the company, I think 11, 12 years ago now, they were organizing some convention or something, and honest to God, I cannot remember who the celebrity is. It was a male celebrity who was real big at the time. There was a 40-year-old woman who sprinted past security and tried to tackle this person, shrieking at the top of her lungs about how, they're meant to be together and, she wants to have his babies and, like, losing her damn mind.
Please don't do that.
And
That's fucking weird.
the part that my friend said was the weirdest is that as security was dragging this woman out, because of course they were,
Yeah.
everyone in line was laughing.
That's not funny.
The celebrity in question, who, God, I wish I could remember who it was.
I think the only reason I would laugh would be more of like the nervous laughter of like,
Yeah.
what
Well,
the fuck just happened?
The celebrity in question, like I said, I cannot, I'm racking my brain here. I cannot remember who it was. He canceled his photo op. Like,
That's fair.
and apparently he was so uncomfortable he just left.
That's fair.
And the people waiting in line were angry and they demanded refunds and just like, no, this dude just got like
Assaulted.
like someone had attempted to assault this poor man.
Yeah.
And y'all laughed it off like it wasn't a big deal. Can you imagine if it had been a man doing that to a female celebrity?
Yeah. The difference is
Security would have shot him.
Oh yeah. I think the biggest difference too though is women are a little bit faster to present their crazy. Men
You did not hide yours in the slightest.
Oh no, I don't care.
Like,
Because if you can't handle my crazy, then we don't need to be friends.
you basically came out with your crazy like it was a bat.
Yeah, like-
I'm gonna hit you with this repeatedly. If you live, we're friends.
Yeah, like I don't make any secret of not being mentally well.
I love that
With that,
not being mentally well is such a gentle
I know,
gentle way to phrase it.
yeah. But I'm not mentally unwell enough that I would do something like that to a person.
Yeah.
I'm more crazy in the sense of like, hi, I'm really weird.
Yeah. And honestly,
And if you can handle my weird, we're good. We're
and
solid.
this is like, and this is just people 101.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you do not behave like that to people you don't know.
Right, exactly.
and this is I hate that I have to say this. We're getting off topic of the episode, but whatever. ADD is fun. I don't care how much time you spend on some celebrity's Twitter or X, whatever,
that's
or Instagram.
It's
or,
a parasocial relationship, and you need to stop. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's
enough is enough.
You do not know this person,
And like I was saying, like women show they're crazy pretty quick. I'm saying this as a militant feminist. But men tend to hide their crazy.
Yeah.
And that's where the stalking and the violence and all of that comes into play.
There's a side of that actually,
So,
like, it's
a little bit different.
This is a cultural problem, I think. Men are taught from a very young age that any emotional problems, emotional issues,
Yes.
if
You
you're
need to hide
sad, you bottle that up.
Yeah,
You-
exactly.
You be tough. You, like,
Because men don't cry and men don't feel feelings. No, men feel feelings, and you need to allow yourself to feel those
Yes.
feelings.
And
go to fucking therapy.
so I've been
Christ.
going to therapy once a month for the last 17 years. 16 years. Yeah. And I would highly encourage everyone to go to therapy. I don't care if you think you're fine or not. Go to therapy.
Yeah.
Maybe you only go once and the doctor goes, "Hey, you're surprisingly okay." Okay, cool. You at least checked. Like, yeah.
Go to fucking therapy.
But I think so many guys think that, and this may, because I was born in 1985, so this may be more true for guys who are around my age. But we're taught that if you are if you're tough and manly, then women will be attracted to you, and when they're not, no one teaches. There was no education about what to do when they're not, and
Right.
the education was not needed. The education is just don't pursue them. But
I think there's also the fact that, like, a lot of men, and this is generalizing, a lot of men don't regulate their emotions.
yeah, because they're never taught
and
how.
They aren't taught how, but also they're taught that women are here to please
Less
you
than.
and please you only.
Yeah,
Women are not people, and if you are pursuing one, they better fucking like you.
this is
And that's not okay.
this is and this I think is this depends on where you grew up more than anything else.
Yeah.
You tend to, you land in like so I grew up in a suburb of a medium-sized city. My parents are both scientists. They both are highly educated.
Mm-hmm.
I have several sisters. I was never allowed to be rude to women, ever, even as a child, because one of my sisters would smack me, because rightfully so.
Yeah, you deserved it.
Yeah. That I credit with, me generally being nice to everyone I meet, because
Yeah.
I have this, ghost image of my sister standing behind me ready to slap me upside the head. But there should not... It is baffling to me that we have to teach young men that women are more than property in 2023, almost 2024. Like, I mean, and you can look at so recently we live in Ohio. Ohio passed an amendment to our state constitution that enshrines the right to an abortion.
And it's
And-
not
and several
just,
other things,
It's
but yeah.
not just an abortion. It's
Reproductive
multiple things.
care.
Reproductive care.
Yeah.
If you have a uterus.
Yeah.
And here's
Now,
the thing about it is I shouldn't have to vote on that.
no, you absolutely...
Because my uterus is not a political topic.
And this is one of those things that the vote passed handily. Like,
Oh yeah, there was no
yeah.
way around it. So now I can get an abortion and buy marijuana.
Yeah. Welcome to Ohio.
Because now we have recreational
Hey.
weed in approximately
I scheduled
20
my abortion the day after the vote because
Right,
might
yeah.
as well solidarity.
like I think 25 days or something like that.
Yeah.
We can buy marijuana recreationally. So now I can go get an abortion and buy weed. Not necessarily at the same time, but I could if I wanted to.
I mean, that sounds like a great business. You want to start that?
Kinda.
And this like I was saying, we have a generation of people who are trying to basically codify into law that women are property. And that this is, I mean, we have strayed so far away from
meeting people.
From meeting people.
No, but I think that this still applies.
Yeah, and I think you and I are thinking the same thing right here is if you are the kind of person who approaches, and if you're the kind of straight man who approaches a woman assuming that because you are a man, she will simply be receptive to whatever you do or say, you are the problem. Mm-hmm. And I generally want to be the kind of person who looks at someone and goes, hey, your behavior is bad, but I don't want to ostracize you for it. I want to help you identify that behavior and correct it. This can be fixed.
Right.
Shitty people can change.
Oh, 100%.
And so we're not sitting here saying, hey, if you do this, you're a lost cause, wander off in the woods and don't come back. Like,
no, it is fixable. No one is ever perfect. I was not great in my 20s. I have grown a lot.
I was awful in my early 20s.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and the fact that you put up with me is a fucking miracle. I don't understand it. Thank you. Do not get how you did that. But,
I don't know. Probably because I was also a shitty person.
Yeah.
So that probably helped.
You and I have both done exactly what I'm telling everyone else to do, and we've identified the shitty bits of our behavior and personalities.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is not easy for people to do because you have to have an honest conversation with yourself of, hey, look, this is where I'm a shit person, and I need to fix that.
Yeah.
The hardest part of that is admitting to yourself, genuinely admitting to yourself that you are, in this way, a shitty person. Mm-hmm. That's the hardest part. Once you actually, genuinely accept that, fixing it's not hard because nobody wants to be a bad person.
Correct.
And you can actually change your behavior. The example that always comes to mind, and I'm honestly very, very happy to be friends with this person now. I went to college with someone who he grew up in a very small rural town. He's honestly a nice guy. Mm-hmm.
But didn't know any better.
He really didn't.
Yeah.
He honest to God just did not know any better.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at a bar, and he, walked up to some woman at the bar he didn't know, slaps her on the ass, and goes, "How's it going, baby?" And she turned around and punched him in the face.
Uh-huh.
I mean, she broke his nose.
Good. That is not. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't ever do that.
Unless you know the person.
I gotta stop looking at the camera.
Don't do that.
Quick side note: we do another podcast about Star Wars where we actually have video, and I keep looking at the turned off camera because I'm used to that because we record this on the same day. But this one turned around, and I mean, she didn't haymaker him. She just jabbed the face. She broke his nose. We had to take him to the hospital.
Good.
And the whole ride to the hospital, as we got into the car, he's like, "Why did she hit me?" And he wasn't being mad about it. He was confused. He was honestly confused. Why did she hit me?
Honey.
And when we explained it to him...
You assaulted her.
Yeah. And when we explained it to him, I know this person, he genuinely felt bad. We went to the hospital, got him cleaned up, got a bandage on his nose. He insisted we take him back to the bar so he could find this woman and apologize. He, honest to God, did not know any better.
Oh my God.
But what he did when we told him about his bad behavior was exactly the right thing.
He changed it.
He accepted that it was bad behavior and made a sincere effort to change that bad behavior.
Yeah.
That is, yes, his behavior was terrible, without question.
Yeah.
But he did exactly what you're supposed to do when you behave badly.
Right.
You change that behavior. He did find the woman at the bar and apologized to her. He paid her tab. He told her he was terribly sorry. And she went, "Okay, well, I still want you to leave me alone, but thank you for apologizing." And he went, "Cool. Glad I got to apologize." And he left. Didn't talk to her again. He felt terrible about it.
Unless you know the person. don't go and smack somebody's ass.
So to hear him tell it, like I said, it's from a very small rural town. He would go, like, as a teenager, he and his friends would go to the local bar. They wouldn't be served alcohol, but that's where they would go. And that's how he saw adult men interact with women. And and so that's what he learned.
Ugh, God, why do men?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Ugh,
yeah.
don't do that. Don't. That's disgusting. Don't touch a person.
Without consent. This comes
Yeah.
back to consent every damn time.
Yeah,
but but that's what he saw as a teenager. That's the behavior he saw, and he saw the people not respond negatively to it. So he thought that's what you did. That's what he learned.
Babe, no.
And I have to give him every ounce of credit in the world that some people, when you present them with bad behavior, they just go, fuck you, I don't do that. And they just ignore it.
Yeah.
And they don't want to face it.
Right.
He sprinted headlong into it when I don't want to be that guy, and changed it. And if you're failing at dating, if you're trying to meet people and you're just constantly striking out, maybe examine your own behavior, how you're approaching people.
The common denominator is there,
Yeah.
and it's probably you.
And
It's not the people you're talking to. It's not the people you're approaching. There's nothing wrong with those people. It's probably you.
a friend of mine actually he hit on a brilliant idea. This was years ago. He's now married, but he had been single for, he's 7 or 8 years older than I am. He'd been single for 11 years. And
Oh, wow.
he was tired of it. I mean, he made good money. He owned a house, still owns that house. He just didn't. He was happy being happy on his own. Like, he has hobbies. Guys, big tip: if you cannot be happy alone, you cannot be happy with someone. Like, that's just how it is. But he was lonely, and he'd been on a bunch of first dates and never got a second date. So he changed his dating app profile and said, hey, I need a woman to go on a first date with me and then give me notes. I want to know everything I do wrong, why it's wrong, and what I can do better, which I thought was weird, but it worked. He wanted a date with a woman, and apparently they went to dinner, and then they went to, I think, some coffee house or something that was open late. And she went, cool, here's everything you did that I didn't find, that I found off-putting or was awkward.
Sure.
And I'm sure that was not easy to hear.
No, it's never easy to hear criticism. No.
But if you take that criticism as constructive, which is what he did, and he went, cool, I didn't realize I was making anyone feel like that. I did not know this. Because no one had ever articulated to him that that's how they were feeling. First dates, they would just leave. Like, cool, date's over, bye. And he wouldn't get to know
Yeah.
why he'd struck out.
Yeah.
So he took this very novel approach. And it worked. It took him a couple more years. I mean, a lot of behaviors are very ingrained. You do have to really make an effort to change them.
Absolutely.
He changed them. His wife is, honest to God, adorable in like a Chucky doll. Like at first, like, oh,
Come again?
she's cute. And then you get to know her and you're like, oh, she could kill me in my sleep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, I was like, I'm not sure where you're going with this
She's
comparison.
adorable but terrifying. She's one of my dearest friends.
I am also adorable but terrifying.
You absolutely are. That's why we're sitting this far apart. But they started dating and she wasn't afraid to look at him and go, hey, don't do that. That's fucking annoying and weird. Don't do that. And that's what he needed. Someone who would call him out on his bullshit. When you meet someone new, when you hope to start dating, when you meet someone on a dating app, in public, in any situation, you need to be cognizant of what you're doing and saying and how they're responding to it. You have to.
Yeah.
You may not remember this, but I do. I'm going to turn this I set a timer for these podcasts, and we just blow through it every time. So I don't even know why I bother anymore.
I feel like we need to make the timer longer so that we can sit there and be like, oh, okay, we have this much time.
It's the placebo effect of the timer. Like, it's just there to make us feel better. It's
yeah,
like,
that's fair.
You may not remember this, but when you and I first met, we met at the coffee shop.
Yes.
I started to tell you a story about a show that my band had played.
Yeah.
And you were very clearly uninterested in it. 100% could tell. So I abandoned that story. I just wrapped it up real fast and then asked you about something that you had mentioned earlier. Because I noticed you weren't digging it. So I didn't try to bulldoze my way through, hoping that somewhere later in the story you might go, that was actually interesting. No.
Because it probably wasn't an interesting
story. It
story.
probably wasn't. I could
The
not
fact that I don't remember that tells you right there that it was not interesting.
Yeah. But this is
I'm sorry, that's really funny. I barely remember yesterday, so like you're asking me to remember something from 15 years ago. I have no idea.
But I have watched so many guys, sit there, trying to tell some story that makes them look big and strong and tough, and the woman they're talking to has a look on her face as though she's about to fall asleep. Guys, you have to read the room. Like
read the body language. I went to a concert up in Pittsburgh a million fucking years ago. It was oh god, Amon Amarth, I think.
Wow.
Amon Amarth and I feel like Goat Whore was the one that opened for them. I can't remember exactly.
I'm not going to.
No, not Goat. It wasn't Goat Whore. It was a band from somewhere in the Netherlands called Tier.
Okay.
And they were really good. Viking metal. I like Vikings. So I went to this show with someone I was friends with at the time, and this guy sees me like sitting down, because it was one of those shows that I didn't want to be in the front. I wanted to watch it because Amon Amarth does this cool thing where they have like a half of a Viking ship on their stage, and I'm like, this is I want to see it from afar. This is fucking cool.
It's some badass stage design.
I fucking love Amon Amarth. They're so good. So I'm sitting, back at the bar having a drink. My friend is with somebody she was seeing at the time, spouse maybe, almost spouse,
partner,
I can't remember.
Yeah,
some partner.
Yeah,
and they're behind me. And this guy sees me, and I see him see me. And I'm like, oh no. I literally am sitting there with my beer.
I have watched friends of mine have this reaction in real time, and honestly, it's funny.
Yeah, like I'm having my beer, and I just look. Because I people watch.
Yeah.
When I'm not like at the front row, like I usually am for shows where I'm only paying attention to the band, I people watch.
It's fun.
As I'm watching the band.
I work shows for a living. I can tell you from experience, people watching at concerts is a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I, happen to be looking around. I look, he sees me, and I'm like, oh, fuck. I made eye contact. Oh, no, I fucked up.
Damn it.
I fucked up. So he, comes over to me, and he's like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, good. And this is during a concert. The last thing I want to be doing is having a conversation.
Yeah. You're there to see the band.
So he is.
Well, you're there to see the Viking ship, but yeah.
Yeah. And the band. I do like the band. The band's really good. But
fuck the band. Viking ship. Ah!
Yay, Vikings. So dude is talking in my ear, introduces himself. I could not tell you what his name was. I don't remember. I give him my name, and he's trying to have a conversation with me while I'm trying to watch this band. And I finally just I don't even remember what he was telling me, but I was so uninterested. I literally was just please stop talking. Just stop talking. I was just watching the band. I'm like, you're saying stuff and I don't care about any of it. And his buddy had come over with him, because I think he was probably help me go talk to this girl. And I'm just fucking leave me alone.
There's nothing wrong with asking for a little moral support.
No. There's nothing wrong with moral support. I'm all for that. But it was weird.
Yeah.
So dude is like talking at me. His friend looks at me.
Like you said, at you.
Like, yeah, he's talking at me. And I'm like watching the show, trying to enjoy it. And his friend happened to turn around, look at me, look at his buddy, look at me again. I make eye contact with him. And I'm like, kind of like with my eyes just going, please get him the fuck away from me.
And this had nothing to do with that person as a person.
No, it had nothing to do
Yeah.
with him as a human. It
Yeah.
was just not an appropriate time to try and have a conversation. I am at a concert. What are you doing? So he's, his buddy finally is just like, hey, we should be watching the show. And I was like, thank you. Oh my God. After the show was over, he wanted to keep talking at me.
Oh.
And I was like, now I was, again, with somebody I was friends with at the time. And so if we were leaving, it was up to her. She sees that I am uncomfortable. And he's like, are you sticking around for another drink? And I'm like, nope. And my friend is like, no, we have to get going because we got to get up early in the morning. So sorry. Dude tried to get my number.
Oh.
And I was like, So I finally was just like, yeah, I'm actually gay. So, but thank you. I'm going to go now. Bye.
See,
It was so awkward.
there are so many like situations where people meet in public bars, concerts, whatever, that could be avoided if one of the two people, and honestly, women are guilty of this too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If whichever person approached the other could read a facial expression.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I will give you a wonderful example of this. This was actually a few months ago. I was working a show. In the middle of working a show, I'm not really doing a lot. Audio levels are good. I'm just checking them every now and then. Lighting's basically moving, going on a timer. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm a little bored. There's a woman standing right next to the booth. I'm sitting here watching the band. I look up. Oh shit! Oh, didn't even realize she was there. Fuck. Hi. Both say hi. Back to watching the show. The band stops. The band's done. I do my thing. I don't know why I'm miming this. It's an audio medium. I don't know what I'm doing. And so I turn off all the mics. Mm-hmm. Stage tech start changing the band over. There's one more band. And I start talking to this woman next to me. This isn't flirting. Like she'd mentioned something like, hey, the bass player sounds really good. I'm like, yeah, he does. Dude's awesome. Like, we're talking about the band.
Yeah.
I asked her name. She asked mine. We're having this is not a flirting conversation. We're having a conversation. Yeah. I had the thought of, she's really attractive. Maybe I'll not ask for her number, not ask her to, go get a drink with me or something like that.
Sure.
I was like, I'm going to keep talking to her and see if if the conversation goes anywhere else.
Yeah.
It didn't. She went, cool. Well, my friends are taking off. Went, cool. Have a good night. And she left. We had a nice little conversation about the bass player being a beast, which he is. And then she left. Neither one of us felt uncomfortable. I hope she didn't feel uncomfortable.
I mean, if she was reciprocating the conversation, I would say no.
But we were talking about the thing happening in front of us.
Right.
About what was happening, what had literally just happened on the stage.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. We're at a concert.
Sure.
If more people could read those situations, because I know a lot of guys who would have taken who take the slightest bit of conversation as an invitation.
Oh my God.
Like,
it happens all the time.
and it's not.
And when I was working in retail.
I know the store you used to work at.
If I worked at several stores, but
Well, one in particular, I think you probably got a lot of your stories from. So
yeah. But there's
company we shall not name because they have lawyers
Exactly.
and like to use them.
Exactly. I worked at beep.
Yeah.
But there were several times at a couple of those jobs where I would talk to a man And he took it as I was flirting. I'm like, I'm doing my job.
And this
Literally
needs,
just being nice.
this needs to be mentioned because I spent 10 years working in bars and restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, specifically guys. Actually, you know what? Anyone, because this applies to literally anyone.
Yeah.
If you think that the server or bartender somewhere is flirting with you,
They're not.
no, they are, but they're not doing it to get close to you. They're doing it for tips.
Oh,
It's their job.
right.
That is their job.
Yeah.
They are trying to make sure that you are happy and have a good time because if you are, you will tip them more before you leave.
Sure.
That is their job. Do not, for the love of everything good and holy, I cannot tell you how many times women that I worked in restaurants with would come back with a checkbook that had 0 tip and a phone number on it. I'm just like,
If it had anything, I'll give you a tip. Fuck
Yeah.
right off.
yeah.
Eat my whole ass.
If you are talking to someone and they are at their place of employment, they're being nice to you because they have to be. That's their job. That's not an invitation. Conversation is not an invitation. And this is where I think a lot of guys stumble when they try to meet someone in public. And why a lot of guys prefer dating apps. On a dating app, you both have made clear your intention.
Right.
Like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. In public, you kind of have to guess. But a lot of guys assume that a lot of people assume that if they talk to someone in a bar, the fact that the other person is reciprocating that conversation implies interest.
And that's not true.
That's not true at all. It implies conversation.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Interest comes later.
Yep.
You have to know how to read that.
Yes.
And when you can't, if you can't, take a friend.
Please don't try and guess.
Seriously. No. Bring a friend.
Yeah.
Have someone standing 5 feet behind you over your shoulder who will walk up and go, not interested. Like tap you on the shoulder and say they're not interested. So you can be like, oh shit, and just, okay, cool, have a good night. And move on.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with being rejected when you're dating. When
No.
you're meeting someone in person.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, not at all.
And as I said earlier, it's 90% of the time it's not about you as a person. It's just not.
Correct.
The random person you meet in public doesn't know enough about you to reject you as a person.
Right.
They're not looking for anything. They are talking to someone else. Maybe you're not the gender they prefer. It doesn't matter. When they say no, just accept it.
That's the end of the conversation.
And it's not a reflection on you if someone rejects you.
Sometimes it is.
It can be, but it can be. But if it's someone you just met out in public and they've known you
Chances
for
are,
8
no.
seconds, no, it's not a reflection of you at all.
No.
That decision they made was based on a bunch of things going on in their life that you were not a part of,
Right.
and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what my advice boils down to, and as we keep saying, we're not experts in this by any stretch of the imagination. You want to meet someone new, and actually,
Know for sure that they are interested. Dating app is nothing to be ashamed of.
not in the slightest. I
At
was gonna say, talk to them like a normal human being.
I mean, yeah, no, talk to them like a person.
Yeah.
First of all, but there is nothing wrong with meeting somebody online.
Yeah.
At all.
And
I know, like a long time ago, it used to be really weird. Like, oh, you met them on the internet?
Yeah,
oh
but
my
now,
God.
like-
Now it's very normal to meet people on the internet.
Good God, if I could stop seeing Bumble ads on YouTube, I'd be
Like,
the happiest person in the world.
I think what's
They're
so
not
funny.
gonna be a sponsor of ours, by the way.
What's so funny to me is like the whole, when we were growing up and the internet was like starting. Don't talk to strangers on the internet. Now I literally will order food and a stranger will
arrive
bring
at
it to
my
my
home.
house.
Yeah.
Like they bring it to my house. Or I go and I order a ride on Lyft.
And a stranger shows up and you
Yeah.
get into their car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like it's a very different situation.
7-year-old
now.
me would look at my life now and go, "You're not supposed to do any of this."
Exactly. But it's very different now. There's nothing wrong with meeting people online.
And honestly, if you're meeting someone online, you have an advantage. They're they're telling you through their profile what they're looking for.
Correct.
And
you have that benefit online. You don't have that benefit meeting somebody in a bar.
now, if you meet someone in person, so far, my longest relationship was 2 years with a woman I was dating in college. We met at a party. We went home together. Well, back to her place. I left 2 days later.
Jesus.
We were having a great time together. Like she was great, and we really hit it off.
Yeah.
But I went home to finally take a shower, and
Because she didn't have one, apparently.
oh, she did just doing other things.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, and like we went. So we texted, and we went out to dinner the next night. And when we were out, we had the conversation of, hey, was that a one night stand, and now we're having dinner to make ourselves feel better, or are we both actually into this?
Yeah.
And we decided together that we were both actually into it.
Sure.
If she had said, hey, that was just sex for me, and you're cool, but that's really all I wanted,
Yeah.
I'd have been disappointed. But rejection is not that hard to handle. I know it is for some people. I get it.
Yeah.
But rejection happens. Biggest thing when you're starting to date someone, when you're meeting someone, be honest about who you are, talk to them like a person, and understand and accept that rejection will happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just part of it.
It's
like,
part of meeting people.
And-
That's just what
yeah.
it is. It's how it is. And does it suck? Yeah, of course. It can be a blow to the ego. No problem. Like, I get that. Like,
if it's not a blow to your ego, then, I mean...
you have no ego, apparently.
Well, or you're just a narcissist beyond words.
Yeah.
Because I did go to college with some guys who would, they'd walk up to a girl at a party. One dude, dear God, I really wish I could use names, but like, I feel that would be inappropriate.
Sure.
This person I feel should be, on billboards with the world knowing not to.
Oh.
Yeah, he's awful. Or I might be biased. Let's find out. He would walk up to he would just pick a random girl at a party, walk up and go, so you on top or me on top?
Ew.
And if they had that reaction, he would go, whatever, and just walk on to the next one. It did not faze him. When someone rejected him, he deleted them from his memory and moved on. It did not touch his ego in the slightest.
Wow. Don't know what that's like.
Yeah. And, well, the worst part about it was watching that line work. Because I watched that line work several times. I'm like, who the fuck? What? Why? Oh.
That's disgusting.
That's horrible.
I'm all for pickup lines. I
But they
love
have
pickup
to be-
lines. But like either make them really horrible or really good.
So there's the one I mentioned to you earlier. I think this is where we should probably end the episode because we've gone on for a while. Pickup lines are great. I absolutely agree with you because some of them are hilarious.
Yeah. What, do you want to hear my favorite?
Go ahead.
Your face is a work of art. We should frame it with my legs.
That's awesome. I love that.
I have not used it yet, which
Okay.
is a shame, honestly.
The best pickup lines are clearly funny and half meant as jokes.
Yes,
'Cause
absolutely.
Those are the best ones.
Yes.
And pickup lines are great if the person you're talking to has a sense of humor. And
Yes.
honestly, I used to use them when I was younger as an Insta test to see if someone does have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like, because if they're going, what the hell? I'd be like, cool, you don't like to laugh. Next.
Bye.
Because I'm goofy as shit. Or you can go the opposite direction, which this was last night. I'm working a show at a bar. I watched a guy walk in who looked... As soon as I saw him, or as soon as he walked in, I saw 3 different women at the bar put their hands over their glasses, like almost reflexively. Like he just
Oh no! Oh no! He's Roofie McRooferson.
he like,
Oh shit!
and I'm sure they didn't know him. Just like he just had that
the look.
vibe. Like
Yeah.
yeah. And he walked up to a woman at the bar and said, and I'm going to quote him directly here, "Hey baby, let me get a taste of that chocolate starfish." Couple things.
Don't
with
ever
that.
say that.
So first of all, approaching a random person in a bar and asking to lick their asshole is probably not the way to go.
No, Because not everybody likes butt play. Like,
Also,
come on.
doing it with a 1990s Limp Bizkit reference
Sheesh.
is horrible on its
Oh,
own.
that's cringe.
And this
Cringe.
woman very rightfully told him to go fuck himself
Yeah.
because he broke every single rule we've talked about tonight.
Yeah.
Like everything you could possibly do wrong in approaching someone in public for the first time, he did in one sentence. Literally everything.
Why would you say that to a person?
Honestly, what killed me more than anything was the use of the phrase chocolate starfish.
Yeah, no one calls an asshole that.
That's like
No one says
I'm
that.
38. I had that album.
Yeah. I think every millennial had
Yeah,
that album.
it was a shitty album.
It was garbage.
Yeah. But literally the only person on earth who ever referred to a butthole as a chocolate starfish is Fred Durst. And that by itself should be reason for no one to ever say it again.
Yeah, because he's a douche.
Yes. Agreed. It was the Limp Bizkit reference that stuck in my brain and just made me go, what the fuck? Like, I'm like,
Who says that? Like,
it's 2023. Who's referencing Limp Bizkit?
right, exactly. I mean, they're trying to make a comeback, and apparently he's a cowboy now. I don't know. It's fucking
God.
weird.
I thought we were done with them.
No, unfortunately not. Like, I am all for pickup lines,
'Cause-
but make them clever.
They can be charming.
Yeah,
Like,
make them clever, and I'm down. Like, if you say something just
Yeah.
hilarious to me, I'm like, no, that worked.
my opening line, and this is actually someone who I later became good friends with. We went on like 2 dates and she and I decided that
It was not working.
we honestly decided that like neither one of us was actually physically attracted to the other. We just really like had a good time hanging out.
Yeah.
My opening line to her was, did you fall from heaven because you look like you might need a doctor?
Okay, that's good. That's good.
And if you time that right, it's like, hey, did you fall from heaven? Because you really look like you might need a doctor. It can be funny. Like,
I did have someone ask once, oh, did it hurt when you fell from heaven, whatever. And I just said, no, but I did scrape my knee a little bit when I crawled out of hell.
see, that's funny. Like,
Yeah. My current partner, the way we started talking.
by the way, I've not met your current partner.
You don't need to.
But the fact that he's put up with you for so long
yeah.
makes him eligible for sainthood.
Oh, yeah.
So,
No, I
like,
agree. I agree. I don't know why. And honestly, I don't know why I've put up with him for as long as I have. But thankfully, he is not going to be listening to this. So it's fine.
If he's your partner, he's not unaware of your feelings.
Oh, yeah. No,
You're
he's
not
very,
good at hiding them.
Yeah, no, he's very aware that he annoys the shit out of me.
So does everybody.
Yeah,
that
that's
doesn't
true.
narrow it down.
That's true. But the first night we met, he came over to me and he just goes, "Hey, how do you feel about beards?" I said, "I love beards." He goes, "Good. I'm Paul."
Yeah.
And I was like, I am aroused.
That's a good line.
Like, I didn't know what to do. And like, he has a big beard. Like, he is a bearded fellow. I like beards. But it was just the most right. I was just like,
yeah.
I'm
It's
like,
that's
what?
a great approach.
It was a good line. It was a good line. And he talked to me the whole night. So
My most successful approach. This was years ago. A band I used to play in. We were supposed to be on a four band show.
yeah.
We were supposed to go second. About half through the opening act's set, the promoter was like, "Hey guys, I can't get a hold of the third band. They're not here. The headliners aren't supposed to go on till 11. That's when all their fans are supposed to be here. Can you guys play a double set?"
Sure.
And we went, "Yeah, we'd fucking love, like, hell yeah, we'd fucking love to." So we played for 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a drummer. At the end of a 90-minute set,
Yeah. No, it's exhausting.
I'm literally, I look like someone just dragged me out of a river. Like, it's, yeah. So I go up to the bar and I ask for the largest bottle of water that they have. Apparently the bartender there kept the big giant jugs specifically for the drummers and the bands that played the venue.
Smart.
It's like, you are a saint. I am
Yep.
in love. Thank you.
Aw.
Like, and I heard these two women at the bar being like, "Yeah, that last band was really great." And so I said, hey guys, thank you so much. Thank you. Downside of being a drummer, people are like fish and don't see past the shiny things. So they did not recognize me in the slightest. I've been on stage for an hour and a half. They did not recognize me in the slightest.
Oh, that's where most people and myself differ, because all I do is pay attention to drummers.
Yeah.
So
We are the coolest ones on stage.
I
hands
love
down.
drummers. I love drummers.
But as soon as they both didn't recognize me, the minute they both didn't recognize me, this venue plays live video in the bar from cameras in their auditorium.
Yeah.
And when a set ends, they keep looping the video. So I got to just point over my shoulder without breaking eye contact. I got to just point over my shoulder at the video. They both looked up, saw it, looked back down at me. That was my best moment. That was my best line. I didn't have to say a damn thing. All I had to do was go right there. And it worked.
Yeah.
Like I got one of their phone numbers. One of them had a boyfriend who said she had a boyfriend. So I immediately was like, all right, cool. I am not going to talk to you inappropriately. Done. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one, I got her number. We went out a bunch of times. She was cool. She turned out to she wanted to move in like after like date 4. I was like,
Oh.
okay.
No.
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 I like you, but not that much. Ever.
No.
Yeah. But that doesn't matter. The approach worked.
Yeah.
And more than anything, these two said out loud, and I heard it. I very much enjoyed the band that just played that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
That was my opening. That was
Yeah.
my say hello.
Yeah, of course.
Because I was in the band they just said out loud they liked. More people need to realize that it's okay to... Common ground is what will get you the furthest when you're meeting someone for the first time. Whether that's a band you like, a hobby you have in common, where you went to school. That's your greatest starting point. Because that starts conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You and I bonded over being nerds.
Yes.
Right away.
Yep.
And I of course used that to start conversation.
Yeah.
Because that's what we had in common. So many people approach people in public without knowing how to figure out what they have in common.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that I have to say this out loud. You just ask questions. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself. Hey, so where do you go to college? Where did you go to college? Like, what's your degree in? What do you do for a living?
Yeah.
And go from there.
Yeah.
Meeting someone is difficult. It absolutely can be.
Yeah.
But I think people really do overthink it.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
They make something that is not the easiest thing in the world, but can be done into this insurmountable obstacle that they just can't get past.
Yeah. I would say to end this,
which we never will.
Moral of the story is it's okay to talk to people. It's not okay to be a dickhole.
Yeah.
Don't be a fucking prick. Just don't.
And honestly,
it's very simple. And honestly, read the room.
Yeah.
If the person is not reciprocating, don't push it. And use a clever pickup line.
Yeah.
You
And
never know.
Be nice. Be funny.
Just be kind.
And guys, specifically guys, this is something that needs to be said. It's okay to be just friends with a woman. It is okay.
I am just friends with several men in my life.
Honestly, you are one of my closest friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have had sex repeatedly. That doesn't matter.
Yeah. 15 years ago.
Yeah, 15 years ago.
Not recently.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Decade and a half. 15 fucking years. But there's so many men think that women are either romantic partners or that's it.
Yeah.
It's okay to be friends with a woman. It's okay to meet to approach someone with the intent of it being romantic and then get a friend out of it.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
okay.
Yeah.
And the minute you accept that really all you have to do is be nice, make a sincere attempt to be funny, and accept that rejection is a thing, you're gonna find meeting someone a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the whole process is gonna become less stressful.
Yeah. And don't be afraid of rejection.
And that is our unsolicited, non-expert advice.
That you didn't ask for.
And you know the worst part about that is we are not in any way experts in, human interaction.
No, God, no.
Not in the slightest.
I'm neurodivergent as fuck.
Yeah.
You really think I can barely keep eye contact
I'm
with
a
people.
theater nerd. Like, yeah. And yet, I think I'm very sure that our advice of be nice and, talk to people like they're human beings is probably the best advice you're going to get in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm sure a trained psychologist would have actual clinical advice dependent on
Here's the thing. I have 2 degrees in psych and could tell you proper technique of talking to human beings. I can barely keep eye contact with people for more than 5 seconds at a time. I am not an expert
Why do you
in that.
think I keep looking at the camera that isn't turned on?
Yeah. So
I'm crazy, but with but with purpose.
yeah,
So,
exactly. But on that note,
On that note, our next episode of Hopeless and Bitter might be a little shorter, but we're super ADD, so who knows?
no promises.
Is going
You're
to
going to
be,
have to edit out so much of this.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or everyone's going to get a 2-hour episode, whatever.
Yeah, why not? Our next episode of Hopeless and Bitter is going to be, you've managed to get past the meat. You're at the beginning of the relationship.
The honeymoon phase.
How to avoid fucking it up. Because there are a lot of ways to fuck it up.
Oh my God, so many.
Yeah, seriously. That actually might be a 2-hour episode.
So many ways to fuck things up.
But please, if you enjoyed this episode, go over to our Patreon at Babylon Bullshit. You can find currently our Star Wars series is going. We will be adding more series as we go. Mm-hmm. You can find us on our Instagram at
Babble and BS because Instagram does not let us curse in handles.
Lame. But for now, you're listening to us on YouTube. I know there's no video associated with this. It's an audio medium.
Yeah.
It happens.
Listen to us on YouTube, on Spotify.
You'll eventually be able to see us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. However, that is still in the works. So for now, YouTube. Our Patreon has a $5 tier as the only tier available currently, and just gives you the audio of this video and audio from our Star Wars episodes ad free. Eventually, we're going to expand that.
We will have more tiers as we get members signed up.
Yep.
But as of right now, that's the only one we have just because we're starting out. We're still new. And eventually I'll make a Discord once we have enough people. Because otherwise I'm not going to make one if it's just going to be Will and me.
Yeah, because we just text. That's because we actually know each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so
we would love to know all of you only on Discord.
Yeah, I don't want to necessarily meet you in person.
And this has nothing to do with you. We're both just honestly, we're both 38. We have enough friends.
Yeah, no, I've met my quota of meeting people.
I've met people. Something else that is worth mentioning. We will do this as a video podcast eventually, but we're still in the process of getting equipment and all that good stuff. And eventually we'll do, some of our Star Wars episodes might take us to cons over, in the next year or two. And we'd love to see you there. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
But until then, feel free to stay connected via our Patreon, our Instagram. These episodes will keep going up on YouTube. And eventually we'll have merch on our Patreon as that goes. I actually do have I have a Babylon Bullshit Hopeless and Bitter t-shirt ready to go.
Oh, nice.
Which eventually will be up on the Patreon. And the more subscribers we get,
the better equipment we can get.
The more stuff we'll be able to do, yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, the more stuff it'll make sense for us to do. No sense in getting a bunch of merch ready if there's no one that wants to buy it. So,
right, that's fair. We don't even know if anyone's going to want to listen to any of this. So.
I don't know. We're weird enough that someone might think it's interesting.
I think my friends will probably listen to it.
Mine might.
Because my friends actually support me and are fans of me, so...
You wouldn't be friends with them if they weren't.
Correct.
I mean, that's literally how friends
work. My friends are
work.
wonderful, so
that's
I
how
love
friends
you.
work.
I love you, my friends.
And my friends will listen to this too because, same reason. We're friends for a reason.
Yeah.
So, and to those people, You guys are the best.
Thank you so much.
Also, one of you, and you know who you are, you owe me a beer.
It ain't me.
It's definitely not you. But yeah, so thank you for listening to Helpless and Bitter. We will join you. We'll see you next week for our next episode.
Yeah.
And until then, I've been Will.
I've been Lilith.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.